All right, guys, today is Greek Mythology Day. So tomorrow you're going to be doing a web quest on Greek mythology using Destiny, which is the library's database, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, I want to give you a little bit of background information on mythology, and then we'll go through the notes, okay? So religion affected every part of the life of ancient Greeks. The Greeks considered religion necessary to the well-being or health of the state. Temples dedicated to the gods and goddesses were major buildings within Greek cities. Homer described the gods worshipped in the Greek religion. 12 chief gods and goddesses were thought to live on Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece. Zeus was chief of the gods and father of the gods, and Athena was the goddess of wisdom and crafts, and Apollo was the god of the sun and poetry, and Artemis was Apollo's twin sister, was the goddess of the moon and the hunt in the wilderness. Ares was the god of war, Aphrodite the goddess of love, Poseidon was the brother of Zeus and god of the sea and earthquakes. Festivals were started as a way to honor the gods and goddesses. Certain festivals were held at special locations. For example, the worship of Zeus at Olympia and the worship of Apollo was at Delphi. Numerous events took place in honor of the gods at Greek festivals, including athletic or sports games, and the first such games were the Olympic festivals, okay, in 1776 BC, in 776, excuse me, 776. The Greeks also had a great desire to learn what the gods wanted them to do. They used the oracle to do this. The oracle was a sacred shrine where a god or goddess was said to tell the future through a priest or a priestess. The most famous was the Oracle of Apollo at Delphi, located on the side of Mount Paramus, overlooking the Gulf of Corinth. At Delphi, a priestess, thought to be inspired by Apollo, listened to the questions. Her responses were then interpreted by a priest and given to the persons asking the questions. The responses provided by the priest and priestesses were often confusing and could be interpreted in more than one way. For example, Croesus was a king of Lydia who was known for his great wealth. He sent messengers to the oracle at Delphi to ask if he should go to war with the Persians. The oracle replied to Croesus would destroy a mighty empire if he attacked the Persians. Croesus was overjoyed to hear these words, and he made war on the Persians. However, the Persians won, and it was Croesus's mighty empire that was destroyed. Although the ancient Greek religion is no longer practiced, it was a source for most Greek dramas and art. Not only did the Romans adopt the Greek gods, many stories and references to Greek gods are still found in European and American literature even to this day. So, for the Greeks, what did mythology do? Well, it offered explanations for human qualities. Are you a loving person? Are you a jealous person? Are you a kind person? Are you an envious person? Natural phenomenon, earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanoes, volcanic eruptions, and life events, the act of marriage or childbirth. And it can be seen today, as just stated, in Western art, literature, and architecture. All right, you have to know a few gods and goddesses, and we'll get to those in just a second. So, again, Greek mythology is fundamental to the culture and politics and art of ancient Greece, and it can be still seen today in our symbols, which we're going to talk about tomorrow when we get to that web quest, like Nike. Where'd that come from? The NBC peacock. Where'd that come from? Okay, so symbols, right? Metaphors, words, idealized images. A lot of those things came from ancient Greek mythology. All right, so the top gods and goddesses you have to know. All right, Zeus, god of the gods, husband of Hera. Hera is the goddess of women, childbirth, and marriage. She is also the jealous sister wife. Yes, it was his sister. Do some research on how Zeus came to power. Pretty interesting stuff. And you will tomorrow when you do your web quest. So fun. All right. So Apollo is the god of light, medicine, and prophecy. And he is the son of Zeus, but not his son, not the son of Hera. Okay. but is the twin of Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of the hunt and wilderness and twin of Apollo. Athena is the goddess of wisdom and war that sprang from the head of Zeus, and she is the guardian deity of Athens. And then Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty and emerged from sea foam. Her origins are kind of crazy too. Um, but I just told you Athena popped from the head of Zeus, right? So he had a really bad headache one day, all right, because um, I'm going to let you research it. And so Hephaestus takes an axe to his head and out pops Athena. But I'm going to let you guys read all about their origination story. And no, Greek mythology isn't practiced today, but we can still see it throughout our culture and art, literature, and architecture. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Cannot wait for you to do the web quest tomorrow. But actually, while we're here, let's take a second to look at what all you need to do for that web quest. So you go to, sorry, a few more slides. You're going to go down here to Greek Mythology Web Quest. Okay, you're going to go to the Destiny home screen. Like I tell you, you got to make sure you hit Dan River High School. You've got to go over here to Ancient Greek and Roman ebooks. And look, I give you the login right here. You have to put copy and, oh, I did not mean to do that. You have to put ring 43921, right, in this Gale product. So ring 43921, right? Right there. And then you scroll down to history and you go to ancient Greece and Rome. So then this gives you this little thing right here. Well, up here it says search within the publication. So what you want to do is type right there. So your first god or goddess that you come to, I've done Zeus for you, okay? So this is your example, all right? So Zeus was a supreme god of the ancient Greeks. He ruled over other gods and human affairs. This is his background information. Probably should have said that first time. He ruled over other gods and human affairs. He was the controller of the weather and storms. And storms were seen as omens from Zeus. The Greeks believed everything that happened was under the direction of Zeus, either by him or by gods and goddesses under his control. Zeus was viewed as protector of humans, political liberty, law and order, and households. Becoming a god, Zeus was saved from being swallowed by his father Kronos by his mother Rhea. Once he grew up, he tricked his father into spitting out his siblings, and they worked together to overthrow the Titans to become the Olympians. So his relationships, his father was Cronus and his mother was Rhea. Um, they are known as children of the earth and sky, or the Titans. His brothers and sisters include Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. His wife, of course, was also his sister, Hera. Favorite child is Athena, sprang from his head, right? Wisdom and war. Other children include Apollo, Artemis, Dionysius, the god of drunkenness, right? The Muses, Hercules. I'm sure many of you have heard a tale of Hercules, and Perseus. So the other gods and goddesses you have to look for include Poseidon, Hades, Hestia, Hera, Ares. I want you to see Mars for that one. So that book only has Mars in there, and that's the Roman equivalent. Okay. And then Athena, Apollo, and Aphrodite, Hermes, Artemis, and Hephaestus. So what you would do is you would go to Gale right here, right? And you would search within the publication Poseidon, and it will come up right here. You click it. It gives you a little story of Poseidon right there. You give me the background and you give me the relationship. Then toward the bottom, I really wanted you to pay attention to the symbols and images that we see in our everyday life. Maybe not Versace in our everyday life, but these are some symbols and images we see in our everyday life. And how does it have connections to mythology? That's what I want you to pay attention to, and the meaning for the company. So for this, you go to the website. Sorry, it is located right here. on the Google Classroom, and it's the top 10 popular logos and their shocking mythological stories. Okay, so all that information to answer those is found right here. All right, but I thought it's really cool. Nike, Versace, Starbucks. I know many of you like Starbucks. NBC, Hydro Markets, you might not know, but Pandora, Maserati, dudes, I know you know Maserati and the Minnesota Vikings, right? Dove, everybody knows about Dove, and Goodyear, I think. So enjoy looking that stuff up and having a great time with that. Thank you guys so much.